Welcome to this edition of the Observatory, or the O for short, a sports talk show here at UTD TV. I'll be your host, Jordan Murphy. Where we're going to begin this time, women's soccer, they're starting a 4-game homestand to begin their season on Friday, September the 1st against Grove City. In 2016, they ended their season in the semifinals of the conference tournament. Men's soccer is also beginning their season on Friday, September the 1st. They'll be home right here at UTD against Austin College. They're looking for a three-peat, their third consecutive ASC title. Notable returners will be Alfredo Kagi, Brad Ravines, and Danny Meyer. Moving on to volleyball now, they are beginning their season in California. They're going to take on some top-level competition. They're playing nationally ranked Laverne and Claremont Mudd Scripps. They graduated notable leaders last season, like Michelle Toro and Abby Barth. We caught up with Marcy Allison, who is the volleyball head coach here at UTD, to get her take on how the team is maintaining their level of excellence in the absence of some of these graduated seniors.
Well, obviously the loss of Michelle Toro and Abby Barth and even Holland Hanley has been a significant loss. One of the things we're doing is we have to teach to what we have, and obviously losing those guys, we've got to have some of our returners step up. So we're kind of slowing things down a little bit rather than going at the fast pace of having so many four-year seniors. So we're having to slow things down a little bit and be a little bit more attention detailed to what we're doing. But other than that, we're trying to teach the same things and do the same concepts, we're just having to slow the game down a little bit more. It's a blessing and a curse when you have a schedule like we do this season. We plan the schedule because of our success last year. Obviously, with those losses, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to grow up pretty quickly. So we'll see what happens. Of course, we want to go against the best competition that we can face. In order to be the best, you got to beat the best. And that's one of the things that we teach our team. So we're like that as coaching staff, too. We got to schedule those tough matches. So hopefully the girls are excited, but at the same time, they got to learn to control their frustration and be more determined when things get tough.
The beginning of the season has not been without some adversity, though. A couple starters on the roster have suffered some preseason injuries, and this is what Allison had to say about the subject.
So yes, we have had some unfortunate preseason injuries, just kind of some crazy injuries that we weren't expecting. So Dylan Brinkman and Faina Zhang are out potentially for the season. We don't know yet. And they were starters for us. So in essence, we only have one true starter from our lineup last year that's going to be on the floor. So it's going to see how good of a coach I am to start things off. But I think also, again, it's going to put some pressure on those people that maybe didn't play as much as they had in the past. Show up and see what they've learned and what they can do for the program. So again, it's a great opportunity for them to step up. And one of the things we tell our players is to be flexible when things get tough. And right now things are tough and unexpected, but we're remaining flexible and just going with the punches. We control what we can control. That's what we tell our players. So that's what we're doing with our lineup and our team.
The Comets are looking to work past the injuries and start their season strong in California. They'll not play a home game here at UTD until September the 26th against UT Tyler. Now on to women's cross country. They're going to start their season in a competition on Saturday, September the 2nd in Mansfield. They won an ASC title last fall and are looking to repeat. The men's cross country team will also be competing alongside the women's team in Mansfield on the 2nd. Let's shift now to a major story in the Dallas sports world, and that would be the 6-game suspension of Ezekiel Elliot.
It is the rookie rushing record in Cowboys history for Ezekiel Elliot, passing Tony Dorsett, which was set back in 1977.
Zone read, handoff, Elliott, pushing through, plowing, touchdown, Elliott. A power touchdown. Handoff, Elliott up the middle, pound, push, pound, touchdown.
To make a long story short, ex-girlfriend Tiffany Thompson filed allegations that launched a 13-month-long investigation by the NFL, ultimately resulting in that 6-game suspension. A lot of Cowboys fans are upset about the suspension, and rightly so. In the past, certain instances like this, say Josh Brown, Ray Rice, had definitely more evidence, only got 1 or 2 game suspensions. That's not the conversation that the NFL wants to have, though. They don't want to wait around for another elevator video or another woman to show up in the news to have this discussion. They want to go ahead and knock it out here at the source. That is why we are turning a new page into a new era in domestic violence policy in the NFL. It was going to happen to someone, and unfortunately for Cowboys fans, Cowboys organization, it happened to Zeke. He is going to appeal that suspension. The NFL Players Association does believe that there is a serious case against the investigative process that the NFL took. If we're moving forward, though, it's how that suspension affects the Cowboys. It's 6 games. Again, it might be shortened after the appeal. I think this is actually a better case for the Cowboys, and let me go ahead and explain why. You have to look and see, are the Cowboys still a playoff team without Zeke for the first 6 games? Once you get in the playoffs, that's kind of the threshold you want. Anything can happen there. Those first 6 games, at home against the Giants, at the Broncos, at the Cardinals, at home against the Rams, at home against the Packers, and at the 49ers, it's not the toughest stretch of 6 games by any stretch of the word. If anything, Zeke will be a little bit more rested. It'll give Dak to push his MVP candidacy a little bit more. They're going to be just fine. Zeke will get some fresh legs coming in. Some guys will dwindle down by the end of the season. It's going to be a tough NFC East, definitely. Seems like every team in there bolstered their lineups. The Giants are going to be good. The Eagles are looking scary, and then you never know what's going to go on there in Washington. So, bottom line, it's not a story that the Cowboys are happy to be dealing with. Definitely not a good look on the NFL. No winners anywhere. As far as performance, though, is concerned with the Cowboys, this is not the worst case scenario. That'll about do it here for all of our topics on the first episode of The Observatory. Thank you for joining us. Got a lot of sports to talk with you here moving on in the semester. I'm Jordan Murphy, and I'll see you next time.